Hello friends and welcome back to my channel of random nerdness. Today we're talking anime and more specifically my favorite anime. Just full disclosure, we get Mr. Bojangles in the background on this video. He might wiggle around back there. Every anime fan has that one series that's always stuck with them, the one that they load up when they're feeling nostalgic for the good old days or when they just need a pick-me-up. It's like how my sister and I used to watch Wild Wild West or Cat Ballou when we wanted to have a good time. And I know Wild Wild West is pretty generally publicly hated, but I fucking love that movie. And if you haven't heard of Cat Ballou, do yourself a favor and look it up. It's a great, great ride. So I love sharing my favorite anime series with people because most have never even heard of it, and that's a damn shame. So today we're talking about Ginga Densetsu Weed. My favorite way to explain Ginga Densetsu Weed to people who have never heard of it is it's a samurai epic with dogs. I still think that's the most accurate way to describe the series, but how about we get a little bit more specific than that? Ginga Densetsu Weed is actually a sequel to a show, I'm gonna try really hard not to butcher this name, and there I did anyway, Ginga Nagareboshi Gin. The synopsis for Ginga Nagareboshi Gin reads, Jin is a silver torage named after his coat color. Shortly after being born, he watches his father Riki get killed by Aka Kabuto, a bear that terrorizes everything in its path. Being the third generation of bear dogs to try to stand up to Aka Kabuto, he ventures out to find dogs to join him in his fight. So I haven't actually seen that original series, so I can't tell you anything about how good or bad it is, but that already sounds like a samurai epic with dogs, doesn't it? The good folks over on my anime list gave Ginga Nagareboshi Gin a rating of 8.12, which is pretty good, right? The sequel, the anime that holds my heart, Ginga Densetsu Weed, has the following synopsis. A dog named Weed, which I want to clarify, they mean weed as in like an unwanted plant, not marijuana. Oh, I see you. Anyway. A dog named Weed happens to hear that he is the son of Gin, the great leader of Ohu, who led the dogs of Ohu to victory in a fight against the monstrous bear Aka Kabuto. Spoiler alert. Oops. Weed wants to find his father no matter what. On a journey to find his father, Weed meets many friends and enemies. I think the synopsis kind of reads like a buddy comedy or like a road trip type series, but it's honestly everything but that. There are some funny moments in Ginga Densetsu Weed, but for the most part, the bulk of the show is focused on action and drama. My anime list gave Ginga Densetsu Weed a 7.3, which is quite a bit lower than the predecessor, so I think I might have to give that one a try sometime. But anyway, my favorite part about Ginga Densetsu Weed is the voice acting. Normally I'd say something like, you can hear the emotions in the character's voice really clearly, or the casting was really impeccable, as in all the characters really sound like their voice. Those might be true, but the best part about Ginga Densetsu Weed is the fact that all of the adult dogs, which Weed is like a tween or a teenager or a kid or something, but all of the adult dogs in Ginga Densetsu Weed sound like freaking samurai, and it's amazing. If you've ever seen any of the old Akira Kurosawa samurai movies, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of like all of the actors from Seven Samurai managed to bring their voices back from the grave to do these characters. As we all know, voice acting can really make or break a series. I've had a few where I've actually stopped watching because one character's voice annoyed me so much that I couldn't even stand it, or the reading of the character's lines was just deadpan to the point where you're like, why? Okay, not even worth it. But the tone and drama and all the voices in Ginga Densetsu Weed is so epic and memorable. If the voice acting in Ginga Densetsu Weed isn't enough to lure you in on its own, the other really interesting thing about the series is it's a lot like Game of Thrones. There are a ton of characters in the series, and you really never know who is safe and who isn't. The first time I watched Ginga Densetsu Weed, I was way younger than I am now, and I was actually really, really sad watching the series and all of these dogs died, so I made a memorial wallpaper that I put up on my computer, which is really, really embarrassing to admit, but it made me feel better, okay? But seriously, Ginga Densetsu Weed doesn't give a shit about which characters you like. Some of them make it, but a lot of them don't. I actually went back to my memorial wallpaper to check if my favorite character made it, and he did. And speaking of favorite characters, there's so many in this series to know and love. Some of them carried over from Ginga, I'm gonna get the name wrong again, Ginga Nagareboshi Gin, but most of them are completely brand new to Ginga Densetsu Weed. So if you haven't seen the first one like I hadn't seen it, you're totally fine. You'll still enjoy Ginga Densetsu Weed. My favorite character in Ginga Densetsu Weed is Kagetora, who I'm gonna cover up Bojangles with right here. And he's a badass. Enough said. But anyway, the chances are you'll definitely find a character that you really like in this series. There's even a few villains that are lovable. So I don't want to spoil too much of the actual story because I think it's really worth enjoying on its own, like without any preface. But keep in mind that one of the storylines gets a little crazy, but in a really quirky and interesting way. The other main conflict in Ginga Densetsu Weed involves what's essentially a turf war between two gangs of dogs, and that is a real sentence that I have used to describe this anime, but it's true, and I love it to pieces. If I haven't made it clear by now, Ginga Densetsu Weed is definitely a shonen anime, which means it has all the trappings of a boys' or men's anime. It's really, really action-packed, and there are a ton of fight scenes. But anyone who loves samurai films will definitely like this anime. I think it is important to recognize that there are some very real depictions of loss and blood in Ginga Densetsu Weed. I suppose it's kind of like all those movies us 90s kids watched and loved, and then as an adult we watched it and thought, what in the world were we watching as children? Though I can imagine little kid me would have been absolutely mortified over Ginga Densetsu Weed and probably would have made it through like one dog death and then just stopped. And this isn't really an anime that you want to watch with your younger family members or your kids. I have just a few more little quips about Ginga Densetsu Weed to share before I wrap this up with a rating. I actually had a friend of mine look for this series when she was in Japan studying abroad, and she looked the entire year she was there and never found a copy of this anime. So it seems like, as rare as it is that people have heard of it in the US, it's possibly even rare over in Japan. People maybe haven't heard of this series. And while I was doing research for this video, I actually found out that 3 of the manga volumes for Ginga Densetsu Weed were published in English, so I definitely want to see if I can track those down now. I totally forgot to mention that the opening for Ginga Densetsu Weed is super awesome, and you'll hear it once and it'll be stuck in your head forever, so definitely see if you can find that and give it a watch. It's fantastic. Alright, enough stalling. You've heard all my thoughts about my favorite anime series, and full disclosure, I'm incredibly biased on this one, but I give it a full 5 out of 5 mohawks. Aw yeah. High-fiving myself. Hopefully you enjoyed learning more about my favorite anime. What is your favorite anime? Do you have any that you really, really like that no one's ever heard of? Or maybe you really like one that's super popular, but you like it for different reasons? Whatever the case is, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to give it a read. That's all I have for now, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Hopefully you would... He squirms.